Pope Francis is visiting Lisbon to start a 5-day trip centered around the World Youth Day. He has addressed a gathering of young Catholics and talked about falling birth rates and the future of the young generation. And this comes in the shadow of Portugal's huge clergy sexual abuse scandal. So while there is excitement, reports say that there is also anger over the soaring costs of the event amid the big question: will the Pope address the scandals in the Portuguese church? Let's get you all the details. After arriving in the capital of Lisbon, Pope Francis addressed many crucial problems in his speech to the youth, and his address included subjects like wars, migration, falling birth rates, the future of the young generation.
Il futuro sono I giovani.
Young people are the future, yet there are many factors which are disheartening, such as the lack of jobs, the dizzying pace of contemporary life, hikes in the cost of living, the difficulty of finding housing, and even more disturbing, the fear of forming families and bringing children into this world. In Europe, and more generally in the West, we are witnessing a troubling decline in demographic curve. Progress seems to be measured by developments in technology and individual comfort, whereas the future calls for reversing the fall in the birth rate and the weakening of the will to live.
The 86-year-old said that he wants to see a seed for the world's future planted in Lisbon. The Pope has warned against the church becoming a club for older people. His whole Portugal trip revolves around helping young people from around the world, but there is one subject that the Pope has not talked about: the sexual abuse scandals in the Portuguese church. The scandals have accelerated the church's falling numbers, and the youth is driving further from the church, contrary to Pope Francis' hopes, it seems. Let's tell you what the scandals are all about. In February, reports said that at least 4,815 children, most of them 10 to 14 years old, had been sexually abused since the year 1950. And this might come as a shock, but over 100 priests who were suspected of abuse still had active church roles.
These were situations that traumatized me deeply throughout my adolescence. My relations with the girls were very difficult. I was always anxious to speak about what had happened, but I didn't have the courage to do it. I also feared doing it out of fear of rejection, as no one would like to hear about those things.
Although there is no mention of the scandal on the Pope's agenda, he is expected to meet the victims during his visit. The sexual abuse victims have criticized the Pope's visit and said that talking about the scandal among the youth should be a priority.
World Youth Day happening in 2023, in the year that the report of the Independent Commission came out, when everyone within the Portuguese society is talking about the issue, the Church wants once again to cover it up.
And what might seem like a move to display itself as being more progressive, the Portuguese church is portraying the event as interreligious and not strictly Catholic. The World Youth Day will see the participation of Protestants, Muslims and Jews. The Patriarch of Lisbon, Cardinal Manuel Clement, said it's an event open to all. But will that really justify the skyrocketing costs of the Pope's visit? Amid a potential cost of living crisis, by the way. Reports say that several $1 million have been spent to finance that event. While Pope Francis encourages the youth to join the Catholic Church, the young also want justice for the sexual abuse victims.